How long is it going to take to learn to swim? That's what we're going to talk about today. If you have ever wondered this, how long should I give myself? Now, this is probably the hardest question we get because, of course, the true answer is, it depends. But that's not a very satisfying answer. It's not an answer that actually helps you grow into it. So let's think about, what does it depend on, and how can you use the answer to this question to keep you growing and moving forward? So the first thing that it depends on is your thoughts about, what does it mean to swim? What does it mean to be a swimmer? So let's take this answer out of the pool. Let's hop out of the pool and imagine sitting on your couch with a small child, and you are doing what lots and lots of us do with small children. You pull out a book, maybe a little board book, and it has very few words on it, and the child and you are reading. And the child says something like, "Go, dog, go." And those words might be written on the page. And you say, "Wow, you are reading. You are a reader. Look at you reading." And they feel so good and so proud. And look how long it took them to learn to read. Maybe 2 years, but that's not true because they haven't really been working at it for 2 years. But right there in that moment, they get to define themselves as a reader. And this is very useful for you as a swimmer, to let yourself define things that you're doing in the water as you being a swimmer. Every time you're engaging with the water, being curious, having fun, developing yourself, you're starting out with go, dog, go level. And over time, you'll be able to read Shakespeare. Over time, you'll be able to do other things in the water. It's not useful to say you're only a swimmer when you can do it at Shakespeare level, like with reading, right? It's not useful. So the amount of time it takes for you to become a swimmer, to learn how to swim, is really about the amount of time it takes you to be willing to engage, not to complete all of the swimming tasks that are possible. I've said this before, I'm an excellent swimmer. I can do lots of swimming things. There is still swimming things for me to know. Am I Shakespeare level? I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what the equivalent of Shakespeare level is in swimming, but it is more useful for me to lean into that I am a swimmer. Like, I don't know a lot about scuba diving. I've done scuba diving and I can do some scuba diving things, and there's a lot more scuba diving, swimming kinds of things for me to still know and learn and understand if I want to. All right, so then the next piece of this question comes up with, you might be saying to yourself right now, okay, yeah, I get it. It takes time to, become Michael Phelps. I'm willing to let go of me becoming Michael Phelps. But maybe what I really want to know is, how long does it take to learn the basics? All right. Again, we have another, it depends. So what does it depend on? So it depends on how long it takes for you to be willing to be curious about your body and the water together, about this connection piece. How long does it take for you to let go of a perfectionist fantasy to engage and understand what you are doing and who you are being right now? The faster that you come into your present understanding and your present curiosity and present engagement in the water, the faster you're going to learn. The more you're in perfectionist fantasy, looking like other fantasy, trying to do lots and lots of things really, really quickly because you might die if you don't do them, the longer it's going to take. Okay, now this still might not be a very satisfying answer, so let me give you this other answer. Another way of saying it, and what we see over and over and over again, is it takes people somewhere between 20 to 100 hours really playing and discovering in the water to feel very free and at home in the water. Does that mean they're doing Shakespeare? Does that mean they're doing all of the strokes? No, it does not mean that necessarily. Some people are doing lots of fancy things, but We want to think of the first 100 hours as your foundational time to play with lots of things and to dip back into knowing about your safety. Lean in new directions of curiosity while you're staying attached to your body in the water at their very basic fundamental movements. You're putting high energy and doing creative things, and you're coming back to and staying in the calm presence. It's this kind of push and pull that you play with in that first 100 hours to get the foundation of understanding how swimming works, how your body works, how the water works. Now, if you're thinking, oh my gosh, 100 hours, that is too long, too much time. I want to know before 100 hours. I should be a master before 100 hours. Think about how many hours over your lifetime have you maybe spent not being a swimmer, or thinking about how you're not a swimmer, or missing out on swimming activities, or thinking you couldn't do it, or whatever your thought processes have been around the water. It might add up to 100 hours or maybe more. I know certainly my area of growth, the one I kind of go into, is I have this whole story about not being able to dance. If I had spent that time actually doing dancing things instead of ruminating about my lack of dancingness, talking about it here on my YouTube show, if I had actually engaged in it in that time over these last many number of years, I would certainly be a different kind of dancer now. This is the most important thing that we can be asking. It's not about how long it's going to take to get to some particular destination. It's about, how do I put this in my life on a regular basis with lots of fun and joy and curiosity and self-love, so I grow and grow and grow. If you went to the water once a week for 52 weeks, you would not be the same swimmer. I promise you. Even if you didn't make it every single one of those 52 weeks, even if you missed some of them, you stay with it and you keep going with it, and you do it with this kindness and love and curiosity, you will grow and change as a swimmer. I promise. Now, it gets even better if you dip in and you have some additional guidance. That's what our online learning is for. But looking to yourself, the most important question isn't how long it's going to take, but am I willing to start now so I can be the person I want to be right now, tomorrow, and a year from now? Are you ready? Let's go. Jump in. The water is fine.